Hey y'all, me here. So we got a Sonic video, which I know is why you're all subscribed, because Sonic's based. You look at the thumbnail, you will know today we're going to be talking about Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the next movie in the Sonic movie franchise. I got some stuff about it, got thoughts about it. This whole script is actually taken from my Letterboxd account. To have. Do you have Letterboxd? If you do, follow me. If you don't, make one and then follow me. It's an app where you review movies, and I review movies because I watch movies. I just reviewed Across the Spider-Verse because it's great. So, let's just jump into it. Sonic the Hedgehog is my favorite series of all time. I was basically born into it. I've been watching Sonic Underground since the day I was born. One of the first games I ever played was like Sonic 2 on the Nintendo Wii. So, me and Sonic, we're close. We're close. I mean, we're pretty tight. And when I found out they were making a Sonic movie, that hype, I was pretty hyped. Well, that's hype when I found out it was live action. So as you can probably guess, I'm an animation guy. I like animation. Whatever the fact, I love it. I love animated movies. They're like all I watch. I watched Star Wars for the first time this year. I watched the Spider-Man movies for the first time this year. So yeah. And then obviously the trailer dropped and the design. I wasn't as appalled by it as most. Obviously it's horrifying. It's kind of young, so I didn't see it. This is... Who cleaned like this? You! Luckily, it got delayed and then got Tyson Hesse to redesign it. And, he looks... I actually do like the designs in these movies. They're very nice. I didn't see it in theaters. It came out around the same time as Onward, which we were gonna see, but then, the pandemic hit. So that sucks. In the end, the movie has always lived up to my middling expectations, and my opinions haven't changed much over the years. It's a movie. I've always said that it's literally, you could do the same script, but for a Roadrunner movie, and it would be the same thing. It just doesn't feel like Sonic. Everything is made up except for Sonic and Eggman. Eggman admittedly does have perfect casting. Jim Carrey is great. And I'm not big on the human characters, and I'm not big on Wonka or anything. Not big on the humor, not big on the Sonic flosses. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't a masterpiece either. A few years later, now in 2022, which was last year, Sonic 2 is coming out. I was very excited. Obviously, I really wanted to see Tails and Knuckles on the big screen alongside Sonic and stuff. And it was obvious Shadow was going to be in the credits. I was excited for that. I thought, obviously, Super Sonic was in the movie. I was excited for that. I didn't even need it to be a great movie. I was just excited to watch it. And I guess I wasn't wrong. It was not a great movie. When the movie came to theaters, I saw in theaters. And in the moment, it was great. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles on the big screen. I cried. It was beautiful. And, they had the Death Egg robot, and obviously Super Sonic. I'm kind of tearing up thinking about it. It was so cool. It was so cool, man. In reality, though, remove the shiny paint. This movie kind of sucks. The advertisement is basically a blatant lie, right? It's advertised mostly as a Sonic and Tails movie. Tails was barely in it, did nothing. His relationship with Sonic was rushed and bad. He gets knocked out halfway through the movie, doesn't do anything for runtime. And, yeah, I kind of felt betrayed. I love Tails. He's a great character, and I feel like the movie wasted him. And they're not gonna be able to... I don't think they can recover from that, unless the next movie, Sonic 3, is a really, really good job with him. So just think that this guy happened. And while we're talking about negatives, there's obviously the dreaded wedding subplot, which felt like it took forever. Admittedly, I didn't watch all the trailers, but it wasn't in the marketing, obviously. It was terrible. There's nothing good about it. It was characters that nobody cares about, doing unfunny shenanigans nobody cares about, just to make parents force to take their children to the movies laugh. And that's not good. We're here to watch it for Sonic. We're not here for random, wedding antics. I hated it. I had to go to the bathroom on that part so bad, but I didn't want to get up. I should have just gone up. I should have just gone up. I think if you remove the wedding, like that whole 20-minute sequence, the movie probably jumps up by an entire 1 or 2, because that just ruins the entire pacing and everything. It's bad. There were, of course, some things I liked. Super Sonic was cool. Knuckles was actually really good. It's the best Knuckles has been probably since SA2, and that's so long. That is a long time. Agent Stone continues to be the only human character who's good, other than, I guess, Eggman. Because, sucks. I wrote this before the Knuckles show synopsis got revealed, and it sounds terrible. It sounds really, really bad. Why is Wade involved? Who cares about who's looking forward to the Knuckles show to see Wade and Knuckles' antics? Not one human being. Not one human being has ever said the phrase, "I'm excited to see Wade and Knuckles' antics on the silver screen." Ultimately, to this day, I still think the movie's rather mediocre. 5 or 6 out of 10 at best. Yeah, I don't get why so many people praise it. But, of course, at the end credits, they did reveal Shadow the Hedgehog, who I obviously love, and it brings up the hype for Sonic 3. And now it's time I actually talk about Sonic 3. I'm on the fence about Sonic 3. Obviously, I'm really excited to see Shadow. I am ungodly excited to see Shadow. This movie could be terrible, and Shadow the Hedgehog's in it though. Oh my god! But a lot of people want to see other characters adapted. Amy, Metal Sonic, Rouge. That's not gonna work. Just think about Knuckles and Tails in the second movie. One of them is super underdeveloped. They cannot introduce 3 or more characters in one movie. I wrote down that I was hoping they'd introduce someone like Rouge in the Knuckles show. I don't think that's happening. But it's a good idea, so that way you don't have to take time from Shadow to introduce Rouge or Amy or something. In Sonic 3, you can just introduce them in the Knuckles show and have their introduction there. I don't think they're doing that. But let's be honest here. This movie is probably going to have characters like Amy, Metal Sonic, Big, Rouge in it. And it's not impossible to introduce several great characters in the same movie. Incredible sequels like Toy Story 2 and Across the Spider-Verse introduce many characters, especially Across the Spider-Verse. There's hundreds of characters. Some of them are really, really great. But you see, the thing is, those movies are good. I do not trust the writers of the Sonic movies to handle so many characters introduced in the same movie. I don't even trust them to handle one. I do not trust the Sonic movie writers to handle Shadow the Hedgehog. And I feel like Shadow the Hedgehog deserves his own little section. So, Shadow time. Shadow the Hedgehog is one of the most popular Sonic characters. And if you're a fan of Sonic, you probably like Shadow. And for good reason. He has a deep and sad backstory, and he's a great character. But I don't trust these writers to write a single line for him. It's not even just for writers. I do not think Shadow, with his backstory involving loss and stuff, I don't think they can fit that into a PG movie. I really don't think they could handle Maria or Gerald without, dumbing it down a lot. Sure, they can remove them, but what's the point of having Shadow then? If you don't have his backstory and the reason people like him. I don't know what they're gonna do with Shadow or how they're gonna do it. Especially if like leaks and stuff have said that they're introducing like Amy and Big. I just don't know how they can make this work. You know? And I want it to be good so bad. I would love to have a good, amazing adaptation of Sonic Adventure 2 on the big screen. I just don't think that's the reality we live in, unfortunately. As you can tell, I have particularly strong feelings about this. But I don't know, whatever happens, whether the movie's good or bad, whether or not you like the video or not, or subscribe to, by the way. No matter what happens, I'll be there when the movie releases to watch it, and I'll review it. I will review it. That is a promise. I'm really bad at that, because I keep canceling series, but it's a promise. I will review Sonic 3. Unless I die. Adios!
In the nightlight, do you see what you dream? All your troubles, are they or what they seem? Look around you, then you may realize all the creatures are with